All right, let's jump right in. Today we're going to talk about something that's right at the heart of Christian theology, that internal battle we all face, and more importantly, the divine game plan that's been laid out for victory. We're going to look at how this fight is set up and the tools we're given to actually win it.
I mean, you know that feeling, right? It's that constant tug of war inside, where you want to do the right thing, but something else keeps pulling you in the opposite direction. It's a classic human struggle, and the Bible gives it a very specific name and a very clear battle plan.
So, the way our source material looks at this is really interesting. It calls this internal battle a war of appeals. This isn't just some random, chaotic conflict. No, it's a fight between two completely different strategies, each one trying to get our attention and influence, well, everything about us.
And this right here gets to the heart of it. On one side, you have God's approach, which is holistic, it's comprehensive, it's aimed at the entire person. But on the other side, you've got this laser-focused attack that zeroes in on one specific vulnerability, what the scriptures call the flesh.
Let's unpack that holistic approach for a second. God's work isn't a quick fix. It's a total renovation. It starts deep inside, in our spirit, where we're made new. From there, it moves outward to transform our soul, our mind, our will, our emotions. And finally, it even lays claim to our physical body, calling it a temple. The goal here is complete transformation, every single part of who we are.
Okay, now we've got to get this next part clear because it's a big one, the word flesh. The original Greek is sarx, and it means so much more than just our skin and bones. It's talking about our fallen, self-centered nature, that part of us that's bent towards doing things our own way, a way that's naturally opposed to God. That's the real source of the conflict.
And if you're wondering, okay, so what does that actually look like? Well, 1 John gives us this perfect snapshot. It's not the whole list, of course, but it nails the three main categories: what our bodies crave, what our eyes covet, and that deep-seated pride that says, I don't need anyone. This is the battlefield.
So you've got this battle raging. What's the response? What's the game plan for victory? Well, the source material lays out this beautiful, incredible, divine system for not just fighting back, but for actually connecting with God Himself. Let's see how it's put together.
And I love how clear and simple this is. Think of it like a journey. The destination, where we're ultimately headed, is to the Father. The door, the only access point to get there, is through the Son, Jesus. And the power, the energy that actually moves us along on this journey, is the Holy Spirit. Destination, access, power.
Now, this is absolutely crucial. This isn't a choose-your-own-adventure with 3 different doors. It's one single, seamless, unified process. The Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit are all working together in perfect harmony to make this pathway possible for us.
And then you get to this verse in Ephesians, and boom. It just lays it all out perfectly. Check out the language here. It says it's through the Son, in the Spirit, to the Father. That one little sentence perfectly confirms that unified system we were just talking about. It's the whole divine framework for our spiritual lives right there.
All right, so we've got these 2 different appeals, these 2 different paths you can walk down. So what happens when you do? Where do they actually lead? This is where it all gets super practical.
Wow, just look at the difference here. It really couldn't be more black and white, could it? On one side, you've got the works of the flesh. And just notice how many of them are about division, anger, chaos. Then you look at the other side, the fruit of the Spirit: love, joy, peace, patience. It's literally the difference between a life that's tearing itself apart and a life that's becoming whole.
And here's a little detail that's actually a huge deal. It's right there in the grammar. The Bible calls them the works, plural, of the flesh. That suggests a bunch of different disjointed human efforts that end in division. But then it talks about the fruit, singular, of the Spirit. That's pointing to one single, unified character that grows in us supernaturally. It's not something we can manufacture on our own.
Okay, so all of this brings us to the big question, the one we all want the answer to. How do you actually win this war? The strategy outlined in the source is, honestly, both incredibly simple and amazingly profound.
Here it is. This is the core strategy. Notice what it says and what it doesn't say. It doesn't say, grit your teeth and try harder not to mess up. It says, walk by the Spirit. It's a cause and effect. If you do the first part, actively walk by the Spirit, the second part just happens. You won't end up gratifying the flesh.
And this, right here, is the real
game changer. It flips the whole script. Victory isn't about being on the defensive all the time, just trying to block and avoid all the bad stuff. No, it's an offensive strategy. It's about actively, intentionally, daily pursuing the Spirit and following where He leads. When you focus on that positive pursuit, the negative stuff just starts to lose its power.
Which leaves us with this final question. And this one isn't for me to answer, it's for you. After seeing all this, God's holistic plan, the unified work of the Trinity, the kind of fruit it produces, what does it actually mean to put one foot in front of the other and walk by the Spirit? For you, right now, today. That's a question really worth thinking about.
Thanks for watching. Visit our website www.christthelivingtruth.com to learn more.